showdown in Ferncliff.
Welcome to Take Two Radio. We are pleased to bring you interviews with people in the entertainment and music industry, discussions and recaps of the 4 remaining daytime soaps. That's The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives, as well as various other shows. For upcoming and previous shows, check take2radio.com. That's with the number 2. And you can find us on Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and other streaming apps. Follow us on social media at Take Two Radio, and thanks for listening.
Well, good evening. This is Take Two Radio Soaps. I'm Anthony, one of your co-hosts. Of course, we have David. Hey, David.
Pam, are you there?
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing, Pam? You there?
There we go. Good evening,
I
Pam.
showed that.
You didn't come on.
I showed that I was on. I don't know what's going on here.
It didn't show on me. That's why.
Well, okay.
I'm sorry.
Nice
we're here
start.
and we're ready to interview.
Welcome, everybody, to Take Two Radio Soaps and Review. And I am Pam, if you haven't figured that out by now. And Anthony and David are here with me. And it's going to be a full moon, I guess. I don't know. Crazy. But
something's going on in the air.
That's live radio. Everything goes kind of goofy, so every once in a while. But now, no more goofiness. Now we get to the interview.
Let's hope she's got her head about her.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's heard that like 10 million times. So let's go ahead and welcome the award-winning actress, Patricia Bethune.
Hello,
Patricia,
everyone.
You with us?
I am. Hello. I love Goofy. I like that.
What a crazy start.
It kind of makes me feel very comfortable. There's no pressure now. We just can flow with it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to chat with y'all.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. We know you're so busy, and we appreciate every minute you can give us. So,
thanks.
You're welcome. So, how has your day been? No.
It's been lovely. It's pretty hot where I'm at, so it's just kind of laying low here. It's been over 100 all week, so I'm just kind of grateful that it's only in the 80s today. So it's beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm in Chicago, and believe it or not, it was like 46 degrees last night.
Are you kidding?
And no.
I'm from Chicago, so I have a lot of family in Chicago. So hello, everybody.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're so cool.
Yeah. When for the Emmys, my sister and sister-in-law came out from Chicago to come to the show and everything, which was really a lot of fun. So it was great to have them all there and get a lot of the Chicago party and spirit with me for the awards night.
Oh, definitely. Well, first of all, congratulations on winning a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Performer in a Drama Series for General Hospital's Nurse Mary Pat. You're welcome.
Thank you.
My gosh. What a role, huh?
Oh, my God. It was the best thing ever. Out of nowhere. You just don't know where things, you do a lot of roles, but this one just came like, I was actually packing to go on a road trip across, and I got a call that, there's this role that came through. So I'm like, okay, change of plans. And it turned out to be a grand gift. Nothing like playing evil.
Right? Exactly. I mean, we hear that from a lot of actors in the industry, that those are the most fun parts to play.
Well, they are fun, even though I truthfully don't think she was evil. She just was overworked and understaffed. And, Carly just wouldn't listen. I kept
that,
saying,
and you had the cuckoo Ryan, as your supposed boss.
Well, exactly. Like,
plus all the other
so
ones
good.
in the institute. So yeah, anybody would be a little crazy.
Anybody who stayed at a job longer than they should have would understand Mary Pat. It's like they're holding on for retirement. Get me out of here. Let me just keep them all drugged.
Exactly. But what a way to retire, huh?
Oh my God! Yeah, with my head off. Yes, I lost a little weight. That was a nice surprise.
It was a surprise for you, so you didn't know it was coming right away.
Well, no, I was done with the first leg of the character, and then they called me to come back, and I ran in. I went to a party that evening, and I ran into the executive producer, Frank Valentini, and I said, "Hey, it looks like I'm going to see you," and he says, "Yeah, well, it's good news and bad news." And I said, he said, "We're going to kill you." I said, "Oh, well, good. I'm glad because I knew she'd have to die. She scared the fans a lot, from what I understood, that people really, she had a big impact, and they were very worried for Carly. So they wanted to make sure everybody knew I was dead. And I thought, well, better than just my foot sticking out of, one of the rooms going, oh, there she is, and there she's dead. So letting me die basically on camera was a good thing. He said, well, and then we're going to cut off your head, and we'll put your body somewhere else. And I thought, you're such a kid.
But how weird was it seeing your head sitting in a barrel?
Oh, my God. Well, when they made the head, because it was kind of last minute, they said you have to go over and we're going to make your head. And I went, I guess they were serious. So I went over to the place to have it made, and when we shot before the bobbing your head was my last day with the bobbing. We shot the stuff on the dock, and they said the head's here. So that's those pictures you see of me holding my head. It is so weird to see because they did an amazing job. I mean, so much so that I think I won't do an open casket. We'll just go for cremation. It's not pretty.
No.
So
a life-changing job.
Oh my God! Yes, exactly. You take the notes where you can find them. Well, it wasn't my first head made, but it was the most exact, and they did an amazing job. And then to see what they did with the bobbing for apples was just a brilliant joke, scare, all of that for Halloween. It was perfect.
It was. It really was. And to be a character that fans are so scared. I didn't know that fans were actually scared, but that they didn't like very much. It just proves how well you did your job.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I went to, during the shooting of it, I did do one of the General Hospital weekends that was taking place, and there were a number of people because it was fresh and I was still airing, who wouldn't come near me. One woman walked by for the entire time just screaming, "You scare the blank out of me," back and forth. I was on the ground. It was so...
That is so crazy.
Yeah, well, some people love their soaps.
Yeah, some get into them a little bit too much. Like, they think it's reality, but then how would you be standing there, if you lost your head? So, come on.
Well, I hadn't been killed yet. Carly was still in Ferncliff with me. At that point, it was like early June or end of May last year. So I was still alive and kicking. But, I mean, it's, it is acting. So I didn't carry my syringes with me. That would have been fun, though. I should have had them laid out.
Oh, that would have been hysterical. That would have been good. I hope somebody videotaped that. We could see it on YouTube one day.
I know. This other woman wanted her picture with me, and she said, okay, would you just strangle me? And it was a long day. And I said, what? She goes, yeah, I want the picture of you, like, with your hands around my throat. So I did one. And she goes, no. you have to be terrified. You got to be really mean. I thought, oh boy, okay. Now you want me to? Now I'll strangle you. Let's move on. It was but it was just something for her collection. I was happy to oblige. Silly but fun.
From one extreme to another. So when they announced your name that you had won, what was the first thing that came to your mind? And did you have anything written in case you won?
Well, during that whole little section where they show you up on the screen and they like who's nominated, and the beginning of it was I thought they did them in alphabetical order, and so I wasn't there, and I thought, oh, they made a mistake. Oh well, at least I'm here. Things happen, and then they showed mine last, and then I went, oh, and then they showed the clip of me going right my face into the camera, and this was on a gigantic screen in the auditorium, and I'm just like, oh my God, they used that shot, and the crowd roared, and it just made me laugh so hard that I only heard. I'm sitting there, and Lou Diamond Phillips starts to announce, and I hear Patricia. And I equate it to being on Star Trek and going into warp drive, where I was literally thrown back in my chair of whoop. And my friend with me, he's like, Pat, you won. And I was like, oh, okay. and I said, okay. And I started walking up, and I did write, a little bit of what I wanted to say, and I had it in my hand. But as I'm walking up, my heart is beating so much, and I'm just like, okay, breathe so you don't pass out, and then okay, you got your piece of paper, and it's like, come on, you memorized 70 pages in a day, you can remember 6 names, you could, and I'm walking up, and thank goodness the man was up there because your legs are kind of weak. It's such a rush of adrenaline that's overwhelming, and surprising, but I was so thrilled. It's a big deal, and it was such a rewarding thing. I had, it's not my world, the daytime. I work mostly in prime time, so for the folks there to kind of, we appreciate what you did with the character in our space. It was such a lovely thing, and the General Hospital people were so good to me, and so happy for me in that moment. So it was great, and seeing my family, they were all behind me cheering and having them there with me. It was one of those very special moments I wanted to take a second and just, enjoy. And my speech came out pretty well, so I was happy.
Yes, you did well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
No, I had made a decision not to thank a bunch of people individually as far as friends and family, because anyone in my life I love, and they're all important, or they wouldn't be there. So all I could do was miss somebody and hurt feelings, so I just included everyone.
That's a great idea. I mean, You've seen it before where somebody forgets to thank their wife or something, and oh my gosh, it's written about for weeks on end.
Yes, exactly. So, I think, and before, I kind of did a thing with my friends on Facebook and stuff for the weeks prior to the award show, because you don't know what's going to happen. And where I was just kind of thanking like my theater friends, and going through my career. It was kind of a little retrospective for me, because it's been, over 25 years in this career, and so everybody had a place within me doing that role. Yeah. Well,
without your friends and family and coworkers behind you, it would make it a little bit harder, I think.
Well, I don't share a lot of it because it's too hard to explain a career in the arts to people that, and I mean, I worked a regular gig for years before I changed into working as an actor. And it doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's a lot of sacrifice, and they don't need to carry all that. You don't share it all. That, that's where you have your couple, close friends that are, other, like for my case, a couple actor friends who you download to and you complain to. Because if you complain about your career to family, it's like complaining about your boyfriend. You forgive your career, but they're not gonna. So it's the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, I'm not mad at him anymore, and they're all like, yeah, but he did this. It's like, oh, let it go.
They don't forget.
They don't forget. So you kind of do the same thing.
Well, as you've mentioned, you've had a long acting career and you've played a lot of different roles in different genres. What's your favorite genre to play, and is there something you haven't done yet that you'd like to do?
Oh, I love comedy drama. I like real life with humor because that's, obviously how I lived. And, like a show like a Northern Exposure, where you're part of quirky. True Blood was a little bit of like that for me in the second season when I was at the bar for the whole time, and we all are a little quirky, but we accept each other and their quirks. So, I'd love to do an hour that's set in a world like that, where everybody's their own individual and they accept each other with their faults.
That would be fun.
Yeah. That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you could write something like that. Have you ever thought of writing or producing or anything like that?
Oh, sure. I have 3 screenplays out there right now. I write a lot, actually, and I've, actually, and they all have a bit of that. A couple of them are period dramas with humor, but at least one of them was in the 80s. I didn't realize I'm so old, I guess. One's 1880s, the other one's 1980s, and someone said, well, that's a period drama. I said, oh, it's still the
Since when?
Okay. Yeah, I missed it, yes. Actually, a friend and we were writing a sitcom right now that's a half hour that's a similar kind of a thing, and so we're developing that at the moment.
Awesome. Well, you let us know when it's off and running, and we'll be watching. You know that.
I will. It's like a farmer. You plant it, you water, you work on it, and then 7 years later it pops. You just don't know. You do it. I said it's the path, and you don't know which thing will hit, but I like the process of writing and researching as well. It's kind of like with acting. I like researching characters and finding out about their world. So, and then occasionally you work. I mean, that's what a career in the arts is. It's a lot of time in between, and then people see it, and that's great.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't know if you're aware because you were in daytime soap for such a short time, but soap fans, when they have their favorites go off and do something else, we follow them wherever they go. So we'll be following
you our best.
Oh, well, thank you. Actually, I have been so embraced, and I love the soap fans. So many people have come and introduced themselves and have talked to me, more than anything else. And I've worked in a lot of genres, but there's a unique, really warm group of people that follow the soaps, and they're great. They're great, and that would be lovely. I'd like to hang on to everybody.
We'll be there. I'm going to move on and let David go ahead and answer or ask some of his questions. So,
okay,
go ahead, David. You're up.
Well,
you're welcome.
Thank you, Miss Patricia. Nice to meet you, phone to phone.
Nice to meet you too, David. Are you in the studio, or are you somewhere else satelliting in as well?
I'm in upstate New York right now. That's where I'm.
Oh, I love it. I'm talking.
Yeah.
I love it. We've got the whole country covered right now. This is great.
Yeah. So my first question to you is, what was it like working alongside Ray Romano and Marty?
Oh my gosh! Well, he's incredible, and I produced the evening. So basically, I wanted to honor Patty Chayefsky, who wrote it, and kind of put to live television in the day. So I put together the cast, and nobody had read together. It was live reading cold. And Ray Romano, I had heard, was a big fan of Marty and wanted to do it, and Patty Chayefsky. So when I contacted his manager, he was the first on board, and he was lovely. He doesn't like to rehearse with anyone, so that worked out really well. I mean, he performs naturally. He's instinctual, and I think a lot of that comes from stand-up as well for him, where he feels it and he's most exposed in the moment. He was incredible, and probably if they ever redo a movie, he should play Marty. He was vulnerable. He was kind, and of course he was funny. It was a beautiful piece. It got written up, and someone was doing a thesis on it, and you can, through my website you could find the article. But he was incredible, and it's much fun when I worked with him on Everybody Loves Raymond. So we didn't talk about it because I was producing that night, so we didn't really have time to kind of go through backgrounds. But he was great on that show too. I had a really small part of the Christmas episode, The Toaster, years ago.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
Oh no!
I still watch the reruns every single day because I absolutely, my first thing to go to is comedies, and so Ray Romano and the whole cast. I mean, unfortunately, 2 of them have passed, but I mean, there was nothing funnier than watching those guys all together.
Oh.
They're just so crazy. I love that show.
They were great, and I was basically the clerk when they were returning their coffee maker to try to find the toaster, and I worked with Doris Roberts, and I was, and both of them, and they were everybody was equally talented, had different styles on how to work, but once it was action, their chemistry and comedic timing, there's very few like them. They were brilliant, and it was a hysterical show.
Oh yeah, the engraved toaster. Oh. Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I have to go back and see that. See
that. What's next, David?
So,
what are you thinking?
Oh, what's next? Okay. So, what, if any, is the difference between directing others and directing yourself in the same production?
Oh, well,
good question.
You have to do that's a really good question. Directing others, because when you're directing, technically you play every role individually. It's like when you're writing, it's the same thing. So you have an arc for each character, you have the arc for the piece, and then as you cast it, like in the case of Marty, I cast based on their voice, their natural rhythms that I thought would be fit into the piece. And you can, when you're just by yourself and someone else is directing you, it's very selfish. The entire play, every actor thinks whatever they're in is all about them. And that's the real difference, is that when you're doing both, you have to be generous, because as a director, you have to make sure every character has their moment, feels full in every moment, and you're not so self-involved. So if you do your own homework, you're just naturally in it, and if you're fortunate, you can shut down that other director's eye while it's live and while you're acting.
Oh,
that just seems like not easy, but I guess you get used to it.
No, it doesn't seem easy.
It's not easy. No, it's not easy at all, and it's fun to direct, and it's great if you can only direct, and sometimes, and just really kind of watch everything. But and sometimes the only way, especially in the beginning of my career, I had to create my own work, so I would produce and direct and put together projects with folks, so I would have an acting venue, because I didn't start acting until my late 20s, early 30s. So I had to do a lot of catch-up, and I had to show them what I do, and sometimes the only way to do that is to create it yourself. Similar to what Pam said earlier, you got to write it for yourself. Well, I've been doing that all through my career. And, it's you'll find most actors, you'll see that go, oh, I directed a film. And then you'll see them for the next, 5 years go, no, I'm just acting, because it's so much work. And, there's the shooting of it, and then there's the editing. And it's a year out of your life that's gone from your acting career. And, you're starting again sometimes.
Wow.
That's just incredible. Thank you for
thank you.
that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I got one more for you.
Sure.
I got one more. Okay. What inspired you to write about the care for the caregiver, and what should I do?
Oh.
And what are some helpful hints that others can do to give relief to the caregiver?
Oh, that's so kind of you to mention it. I just in life, I had 4 of the closest people in my life get sick and all pass away within 6 months. And so prior to those 6 months, I did my best to be everywhere, helping everybody. And one of my closest friends, she was in Sweden. I went back and forth, and then my mentor passed away, and another close friend got sick and was in the ICU for a number of time. And one of my parents passed away. And when it was all over, the only reason we're here really is to help each other. And then we do fill it with a bunch of selfish stuff in between. But when those opportunities come, you have to ask yourself years from now, am I going to go back and wish I didn't help my close friend, just because I may miss an acting job? But what happened is during that time period, you're not having income come in. And once everybody was gone and buried and I did everything I thought I could do, I had nothing left. And kind of just was, emotionally, physically, financially spent. So, but because I had gone through it, so many people had come to me asking questions about it. And so myself and a friend of mine, Barbara Sweeney, who had taken care of her partner who had become paralyzed, decided to write a handbook on how friends and family can help somebody who's going through it. Not how to care for someone, there's millions of specialists in that, but how to care for the person caring for someone. And so one of the, because they don't allow people to help them, they don't want to burden them. And also the caregiver doesn't know how to ask for help a lot of times or accept it. So friends who or family who want to help, it's important to kind of give a clue of what you're offering. So I give an example of, it's like, can I get you anything? Is like, basically, do you need some groceries? Be specific, or do you need a new refrigerator? Say how much you're willing to give, kind of like if you saying, I might have next Tuesday between 1 and 3 open, can I give you can I sit with your person while you go take a bath? Just be specific, because they don't want to ask, because when a caregiver does ask and then you say no, they'll never ask you again. So, because it's so hard for them to begin with. Financially, yeah, people do the fundraisers and stuff, but I think, and that's great if you can do it, but most, everybody I think is tapped out. These are hard times. So you just being there for them, offering to tag team, to just fill in, kind of organize for them, don't give them anything that they have to put together as a present, because it'll never get done. Don't give them extra work. So basically The handbook is what can I do? It's a guide for family and friends to help a caregiver, and it's really simple and it's cheap as I could make it. Occasionally I let them, they put it up for free when I can, because it's just really simple ideas. And since I wrote it, that was back in like 2013, I think, or 12, many people have joined the bandwagon and wrote millions of things, and I'm glad they took off, because, I became spokesperson for Rosalind Carter and her Institute for Caregiving, and it was a gift for years to bring attention to the needs of caregivers. It was all volunteer, and I just, and then once you're done, I think I was fortunate to MC their 30th anniversary and introduce President Carter, and it was just amazing. But it also wasn't my job. So that was the other part of caregiving, is just because you've been through it doesn't mean that you have to lock in the rest of your life. Go back to what made you joyful. There's some people that want to do it forever and go do talks everywhere, and good for them. They should. But I think a lot of people don't offer to help because they don't want to go into the swamp and never get out, so you can maybe offer it in and out. If that's a long
and I think there's
question.
a lot of people out there that can't handle it emotionally, so that's another.
Well, right.
There is.
And that's okay. So that's what I mean. You say what you can give. It's like, there are people that will lose their mind if they sat next to somebody in their bed for hours. It's just not what they do. And then there's other it's like, I have a book. They can repeat themselves for 10 million times. I'm good. It's really your sensibility. But if you can't do it, there's nothing wrong with you. You help them find somebody who can. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Oh,
So
we all
very
thank you
much
for
for
putting that out there. For,
well, you're welcome. It's it's a gift really in the end, but right now there's so many young people that are caring and in their 20s that are caring for their parents, as well as the vets that are coming back, and it's a lot of emotional support they need. And servicemen have a lot of things built in, but over the years, it takes a little bit of research. The Rosalind Carter site, rosalindcarter.org, there's a caregiver health guide there, which links to many services that are available, and people who can guide people on how to find the services that can help them individually. And that's because, so many people don't neglect themselves where they're caregiving and their partner dies, and then they're gone within a few months, and everybody says, oh, it's a broken heart, and it's really a broken body as well, because many of them don't watch their own medication. They don't take care of their own intake because everything is for the person they love who's ill. So anyway, I can go on and I won't. But it's something everybody has to deal with, and can't be afraid of it. You just have to nourish yourself while you're going through it.
Definitely. Great advice. Well, thank you, David, for your questions. And now we're going to move on to, as I say, last but not least, Anthony.
Anthony!
Good evening. I'm also in New York. I'm in Staten Island, New York.
It's beautiful. What show just took place in Staten Island? And a friend of mine was from there. I went, that looks beautiful. Who lives there? His family lives out there.
It's a beautiful island, and it's the fifth forgotten borough, but we don't mind being forgotten in many ways. We still have parks and beautiful beaches, lots of gateway and green belts. Wow. So it's okay that we're forgotten. You can leave your buildings in the other four boroughs. I just wanted to touch on True Blood for a second. Absolutely loved that character. Loved you on there.
Thank you.
Can you just share with us your favorite moments from True Blood?
Oh, my God. Well, of course, the second season, was like a brilliant thing. And the editor was so kind because he loved my laugh. And when they decided to create like the arc of demise through my character with the Maynard who came in and how going crazy. So I kind of built in levels of her losing it more and more and more, up until cutting off her finger and giving it as a present to her, which was one of my favorite scenes. That one was really great. And then when I find my finger, Ryan Quanton, who's just so lovely, we did the first take and I'm all upset and have a breakdown. Well, initially the man picked me up and then carried me across the field because I was so broken up. And I'm just like, oh, my God. I said, you understand, we have to do that like 50 more times for every take. You may want to just let me lean on you because he's a strong guy. But it was really fun. And the whole thing, the wedding and the camaraderie of everybody as we were all losing it and in the middle of the night shooting and absurdity of it, but also, the heart of the characters all weave through. So that was all my favorite. And then somehow I didn't get killed. So I was at the table at the end, and I just thought, oh, it was just so nice. They even gave me a boyfriend in the moment, finally. So that was really fun. So I thought, well, if they ever do a movie, I'm still alive. So that's a good thing. What would happen to poor Jane, I don't know. But I just loved her, and I loved playing her, and she was just too much fun. Yeah.
Well, it's good to know you'd like to go back. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, Alan Ball, he's a theater man. So when someone, the head is from the theater background, the warmth and the set and the respect for everybody is, it's set from the top down. And so it became very much more of a community than stars who were, acting, because, it's also, it's a world of vampires, so it's already absurd. But they were all brilliant and kind, nice people.
Nice. Well, congratulations again on the Emmy. I think our listeners,
thank you.
We ask a lot, and I think our listeners would love to hear from you what it was like to step in the soap world as far as the pacing is concerned and things, how different is it from the other jobs that you've had, and would you go back for another role on another show?
Oh wow, it was extremely different, and but thankfully I have a stage background, which helps in that you go from beginning to end. And so when my first day, I had 54 pages. So compared to maybe you would do 6 or 7 in prime time, it was like 54 pages to have memorized. And you go down, and you walk in, and it's like, okay, wardrobe's over there, hair's here, but we're going to go block it right now, and you're going to stand here. So it's all pre-blocked for you, and from the director's point of view, and you're kind of working in reverse rather than motivating yourself to a place, through an action or your intention. The camera's going to be there, and you better figure out how to get there and make it look real. But Steve Burton, that's why I thanked him in my speech. We weren't really in a scene together except for like a blink that first day, but he was so kind and welcoming, and especially at the end of the day. And he said, don't worry, you won't, because it's such an intense whirlwind, because you block it, you get into makeup, you go up, they reblock it, and then shoot it. And there's no going back to your pages really, because they're way off the sets. And so it's trial by fire, and you just hope your brain doesn't explode as you're going to be this character. And Laura Wright was lovely, and the first day I had to hold her nose and shove pills down her throat. So it's like, hi, how are you? And she was just, and now I'm going to abuse you really fast. And but she was pretty, she was very strong. She could have been very diva and said, but she said she was, do whatever you got to do. Whatever it is, give it to me, and I'll be there. So that kind of created for the two of us, okay, you're willing to go to bed. I'm going to torture you. We'll go back and forth. We would do, which was really great, we would do the comedy version before we would shoot it. So as we're running through it, any jokes that were kind of in there by if you were to say it a little different, we would get out of our system. and then we would shoot the evil version, which was really fun. So it was great. So, but calling a lot of my theater background helped me a lot. And then I would do, basically, I started going up early and scoping to watch what their language is. Because you'll work with, maybe do 3 episodes in a day with 3 different directors. And each director you have to figure out what do they like, what's their slant, so you could work into that. So there's a lot of interpretation really fast. And but if you trust yourself and you've been working for a long time, then you have the confidence to just go ahead and do it. And they're such brilliant people. And would I go back and do something? Oh, yeah, of course I would. I mean, I just had such a wonderful experience on General Hospital that maybe I haven't worked in any other sets, so I don't know what the other worlds are, but they're really wonderful actors and know their craft, and they're serious, and they come in ready and prepared. And in my experience, nobody was, temperamental. They just came in and did the work, and, we went home. And so there isn't a lot of time for socializing, because for whatever I have, the leads have 10 times more. They have a lot of work to do. And, so it was very enjoyable. I had a great time, and obviously, I got a great gift from it. So I would, happily, I think, if the role was right, of course.
Awesome. Well, you kind of covered my other question, so I'm going to throw one of my favorite standards out. And you have a storied career at this point, so maybe you've already done it, but what is your dream role?
All right, it's been done, but if they ever did a remake of it, I would love to do Queen of the Stardust Ballroom. If you've ever, if you remember this one with Maureen Stapleton.
Yeah.
God, it was this beautiful. It was basically, it's a woman who's just a widow and tries to get back into life through dancing in this ballroom, and it's, she ends up having this lover, and it's a great story. But it broke my heart, and it was a made-for-TV movie. But pretty much anything Maureen Stapleton did, I love, like Airport 77. Did you see that?
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance to, she has this amazing scene, because her husband's, going to commit suicide by blowing up a plane. She gets the life insurance policy, and she runs into the airport and has this monologue that is incredible. So that type of role I would love to do. And other than that, for me, I started in sitcom, and I love sitcoms as long as they're funny. I don't like mean humor. I like fun humor. There was a lot of sitcoms that happened for a while where they're about being mean to people and making fun of them. And I like the, not necessarily Mary Tyler Moore, but, we were with a group of people, and it was just funny, real-life situations. And I love the live audience. They do a lot of single camera, which is great, but there's nothing like a live audience.
Nice.
How about a million dream roles? How's that?
Thank you so much. And again, congratulations on the Emmy. It was so very well deserved. Just by the feedback you saw online, you did your job, but it's got to be amazing to go collect that statue.
Oh my God. It was truly, well, I said, I don't know, maybe I said I should retire or something because I don't know how it could get better. It was just, it was really wonderful to get the recognition and to have had so much fun with the role and then have this happen at the end of it is really nice because a lot of times you suffer and they give you, it's like, oh, that's great, but it was worth, cutting myself. So but it was all beautiful. So thank you very much. Thank you.
And we want to thank you so much for joining us again tonight. We really appreciate it. We would hope that you'll keep in touch with us and let us know when your television series or movies or whatever comes to light, and then we'll be following you.
Well,
and tell our listeners where they can find you. Thank you.
Everything. I'm on everything at Patricia Bethune. So it's just my name. It's pretty easy. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Awesome.
Occasionally you'll see me having a nice cocktail. Please find me one.
Yes, too.
You guys have been great. Thank you so much for spending time. This has been lovely.
You've been delightful.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Well, good luck with the rest of the show. We'll talk again.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Enjoy your night.
All right, thanks. Bye now.
Okay. Bye-bye. Well, as usual, our guests really are a delight to speak with. I mean, you learn things that you don't normally know about, and, I'm not sure if the listeners are aware, but, we do research and try to come up with different questions about different things. It's not always possible, and sometimes you might hear a repeat question that you've heard on another show or on a blog or something, but it's still fun to ask and hear it because maybe you heard it, but we didn't,
Right. And it's really, I just want to highlight the point that I think everybody who's come here, especially people that have dropped into the soap world and aren't necessarily a long-standing member, they highlight how, even though how hard the work is, what a great experience it is. And, we've got 4 left. It's a medium that has never gotten and still doesn't get the respect it deserves. So when you hear a conversation like we just had, what a gift that was for her, it just highlights for all of us soap fans the wonderfulness that is soap.
Exactly. And there still are people out there that, put their nose down or up in the air or whatever to doing a soap. And if they just tried it, they'd be amazed at what they can learn, even if they think they have learned everything they can.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, even the watching audience, there's something for everyone. There's comedy, there's drama, there's tragedy, there's, celebration. And, all four of the shows that, are on network and a lot of the web series, they pick their social issues to highlight, sometimes in a somewhat campy way, sometimes, all out for the drama, the tears, and possible Emmy Awards. But this is the only genre that, you get a full and complete glimpse of all the kind of lives that are out there. Every single show has some sort of LGBTQ representation right now. Every single show has a diverse cast. Every single show is not only bringing people back from the dead, but teaching us what it's like to be a caregiver, teaching us what it's like to mourn, teaching us what it's like to lose a first love. And, even if we don't learn anything, just by osmosis, we get to feel and we get an idea of what somebody – I know a young person right now who is going through the possibility of losing his first love, and just by osmosis, it reminds me, reach out, just ask how they're doing, just remember that as busy and as crazy as my own personal life gets, and that, honestly, that's God's honest truth, watching Oscar and that, that beautifully told story, it reminds me to check in and see how my cousin and his friend are doing. So it's a beautiful medium to be a part of, honestly, and I'm so glad that we do this show and we highlight the positives. We don't allow bashing. We try it every step of the way to encourage and entice our listeners to give as much positive feedback as possible.
Right, exactly, because we all know that if you complain enough, you can lose your show altogether. And, like, I'm waiting for Candice to call in before we discuss this, but, right now with The Bold and the Beautiful, this storyline has been going on forever, and it's just a circle. It just keeps going and going, and they're saying the same thing over and over, and it's the same characters. And for the first time in my life, I've wanted to shut the TV off. And that says a lot, because I have never felt that way, ever. It's because it's so aggravating to watch the same storyline every single day for how long. Will I shut it off? No. Will I continue to watch? Yes. Why? Because I know it's going to turn around. They always do.
I think if they had, I can't talk to the process there. I've never been invited into their world. But I think if their storyboarding and their outlining were done in a little bit better way, we wouldn't have the same conversation happening days in a row, between every single secondary character having to express the same opinion. And I think that's what's frustrating people the most, because it's a harsh material. And if there were more movement in the actual storyline, it might not feel so harsh. It might feel a little bit more edge of your seat, almost Melrose Placey. And I think that's what they were. That's what they were hoping for. But by the fact that everybody in the very small city of Los Angeles, according to Bold and Beautiful, that everybody that we see in that city has something to say about Liam, Hope, and the situation that's going on, it makes it feel stagnant. And it has the possibility. Just today I was seeing stuff online where there's basically going to be a death at the end of their storyline. So now everybody's speculating who could it be, and is it going to be a throwaway death or somebody impactful on the canvas? Honestly, at this point, it would have to be somebody like Thomas or God forbid Hope herself to really be impactful, because of how long this is dragging out.
Right. And you know what? Again, it wouldn't be so bad if they had another storyline going. You know, like General Hospital is so good at that. There's more than one storyline going on, and it keeps you watching because you don't know what's going to come up next, you know? And it's such a faster-paced soap opera. Even Young and the Restless, too, there's multiple storylines going on. And right now, Bold and the Beautiful has one storyline, and that's it. And you can only watch it so many times. Flo and, oh gosh, I can't even think of names right now. The other ones involved with the baby switch. Flo and...
Zoe?
Who did you say?
Zoe?
Zoe. And her boyfriend?
Zoe. Yeah.
Xander. Yeah.
Zoe's boyfriend, Xander. You know, you can only watch so many times them saying, oh, my God, we got to tell her the truth. No, you don't have to tell her the truth. No, we're going to go to prison. No, my dad's going to go to prison. I mean, that's all it's been for weeks on end.
Yeah.
And did anybody seriously think that Thomas was going to tell the truth? I didn't believe that for 1 second. And sure enough, he's using it to his advantage.
You know, honestly, and they forget to tell secondary stories. What's happening with Quinn and Eric right now? What's going on with
Well, that's
Pam?
what I'm saying. If they had multiple storylines, it wouldn't be so bad. You know, I don't know. It's just making me crazy.
And to talk to your point on it's making you crazy, and to give the Bold and the Beautiful a little bit of props in a dark time, I think they are the world's #1 show. And they are phenomenally popular across. It's a nighttime soap in many countries. So, you know, they are writing for an audience that's larger than just the American soap audience. And sometimes that becomes a little frustrating for us. Well, many times it becomes a little frustrating for us, but they are reaching a huge audience, and it doesn't always translate to, you know, our way of watching soap.
Yeah. And you know, there's a lot of people out there that watch only one soap or only two soaps, and they don't realize how other soaps work, whereas we watch them all.
I think, you know, the hardcore soap fans have embraced all 4 shows. They may not watch all 4 every day.
That's all there is.
Yeah. But, a lot, I hear a lot online that they'll drop in for a storyline, especially The Young and the Restless and General Hospital, when they both introduced their Alzheimer's storylines. They got a lot of drop-in fan participation because they were interested in how that storyline was going to unfold. You know, a lot with the, how do we call them, the shuffling cast of soap actors going back and forth will bring, you know, a fresh audience as well. And maybe the Bold and the Beautiful can take a look at the other 3 shows and, you know, introduce something socially relevant underneath their, you know, their main storyline to give, you know, a heart, you know, a heart. I think the heart of this story is gone. They had a chance. They had us by the seat. We were, we cried. We were ready for redemption. But at this point, it's like, just get the truth out and get it over with. We don't even, the reunion scene is not going to be as impactful as it would have been a month ago at this point.
Right.
And, you know, my personal opinion, I was just saying to David before we came on air, I believe that they're generating this story to the point where Hope is just committed, and so she can't get her baby back. And that sets up a second wave of a legal battle because she's in the institution and she's out of the institution, but is she fit to care for her baby and all of that? And the baby's now bonded with it, you know, with the family, with Steffi and you know, and her other child. So, you know, they said that this story was going to encompass, you know, it's a year-long story. So if the second wave of this is a big legal battle, I think that's really going to disappoint and upset fans too. And it's kind of scary to watch the numbers. They dropped the ball with the Spectre storyline. They obviously dropped the ball with the return and the brief return and the craziness of the brief return with Sheila, which could have been absolutely explosive. And to focus on this, I keep saying, what's in the water out there? Because, it's, yeah.
Well, you know what, with the Sheila thing, it was a disappointment, but I don't think they could have did a whole lot more with her since the actress is busy doing, other things. So,
but wasted amount of time that she was there sitting in a car with
the canvas.
Yeah, no,
I'm
but
sorry,
even the wasted time that she was there sitting in a car with Charlie.
Right.
Not that he's not a great actor or anything, but those scenes, scrap those scenes and give us some real cat meat. It was all, Eric, I'm a good girl now. Eric, I'm a good girl now. For weeks on end. I would have rather seen one scene, Eric, I'm a good girl now, and the next scene, she's ripping Quinn by the hair and throwing her off the balcony.
Right.
That would have impacted so much more than, Bold and the Beautiful is great with their shocktastic Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget, Quinn killing Katie. For that weekend, it was like, oh my God, Heather Thomas leaving? People honestly did not understand that was a dream. And we were all like, it has to be. It has to be fantasy. It has to be a dream. This can't be. She's not going anywhere. But the way they did it was so purposeful. And then that fell flat. That storyline was gone in a week. And they could have played those beats while weaving in other stories for a good couple of months.
Yeah. Well, Candice is here, so go ahead and put your 2 cents in, Lady Jane, because I know you're ready.
Hey, Candy girl.
Hey, y'all. Hey. Okay, so, I agree with you about this whole baby storyline. I was one of those who was like, okay, this is epic. This is like throwback to old school Bold and Beautiful, but the beat, it's not adding up. With Thomas, okay, he's creepy. He has a mental issue. I need for Bold to address that, too, because a lot of fans may not know that, Thomas does kind of have a mental disorder, in my opinion. 2, the custody battle, that's going to happen. Because you're going to have the families divided again regarding something. So, in the history of Bold and Beautiful, it's going to be a custody battle. All I can say is, Anika Noel, get that Emmy nod for next year, because if she doesn't get something for her performance, I know a lot of fans are very divided about this storyline, but I think everybody can agree Anika has been carrying the storyline for close to a year now. We're kind of getting to that year mark,
Yeah.
So I hope she, gets rewarded somehow, some way. Okay, let's see what else. Y'all talking about other stories, the Sheila Carter storyline falling flat. Yeah, it did, but again, it wasn't their fault. And that's why I think a lot of fans have to understand is that Kimberly had other options. She had something else to take care of.
Right.
Could they have they left it kind of open to see if she was going to return, and who knows, down the line she may come back if, everything is, taken care of. The one story that I think Bold and the Beautiful really needs, actually, it's 2 people. And we had one of them, we had both of them on the show, Maya and Rick.
Yep.
I'm sorry. You cannot tell me, as a viewer who's been watching Bold and the Beautiful since day one, when her Nana said, what is this mess, can tell me that you can't have more than one story on the show. At this point, you could have had Rick and Maya with all the stuff that's going on with Forrester. It's like, you know what? You guys need to take a break. We'll handle it. We'll run the company. And then we can see Rick's version of Forrester getting more numbers than Steffi and Ridge, take over. Then Eric has to make a decision like, okay, what's best for business here? You could have had all that. We talked about it on the show with Jacob Young. For those who didn't check that show out, go into the archive, listen to our ideas. Because the thing is that there was so much with Maya and Rick that I really don't understand. I think that's another thing that's irking me about Bold and the Beautiful, especially now with this baby storyline. Where's Rick? He would not abandon his baby sister like this in the time. No way. Mm-mm. So
and to just drop Maya in and poof, they're divorced. That was like such a disrespect to the fans that went through that journey with them.
We still don't even know why they broke up, why they got a divorce.
We really don't. Nope.
They just let it drop and left us hanging.
And it's not for either one of those actors not wanting to work. And we took an emotional investment in her story, her storyline, but also in him falling, him understanding why she kept her secret, him, embracing and loving the fact that, she was a strong, beautiful person, woman, entity, and it didn't matter where she came from and how she came from. She had, a set of parents that one was supportive and one wasn't. I mean, they took us on the journey, and then poof, they're divorced, and then Maya's gone again. It felt like a really hard disrespect.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is with Maya, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw it. TVLine.com posted the 10 greatest all time. Let me say that again. All time Bold and Beautiful characters. Maya was on that list.
Mhm.
And so that tells you something. And yes, I'm going to say this for all of those who don't know that. When you think about Bold and Beautiful's history, like the top stories that really made viewers just like really invested, you cannot tell me that Maya's story did not drop, rope in people to watch. I mean, we still talk about it. How long has it been? Like 4 years? Has it been 4 years?
Has it been?
Probably around there, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact that like you said, you had her dropped in, and then Rick and Maya all of a sudden divorced. What was the problem? Like, I need for Brad Bell, hey Brad, how you doing, to address that. I get it. You want to recreate history by having a triangle, like you did in the early part of Bold and Beautiful days. But guess what? Newsflash. A lot of fans aren't like that anymore. We want to see movement. We want to see some effort because I like Hope. I'm disappointed that we haven't grown like her growing. I like Liam. I can't stand the fact that they de-dumped him. Yeah, I said de-dumped. Yes, I did. Steffi, she is, quote unquote, and I always said this, the Kim Kardashian of Bold and Beautiful. I can't even take that anymore. Like, to me, they not only ruined the characters individually, in my opinion, but the whole story, the whole trial. I can't anymore. It's just like 6 months later, who's going to be with Liam? Steffi or Hope?
Yeah, that's
6 months after that.
Somebody in that writer's room has to stand up and say, we have reinvented the triangle in every way we possibly can. We now have a baby stealing storyline to justify a triangle. There's nothing left to do as far as triangles are concerned. We'll have another one down the road because naturally storyline will generate it, but just to create these storylines to keep triangles going, we need a new formula. We have milked the cow. The cow is dry. There's no more Cremora. There's no, there's no more in that cow. There's nothing left. It's, it's time to move in a new direction. And they had the opportunity when they reintroduced the Spectres. Let's bring it back to business. Let's bring it back to, the rivalry rather than, two triangles or one triangle. And we're just going to go on and on. We have been watching Liam, Hope, and Stephanie.
When's the last time you saw a dollar bill? I mean, I can't remember now. When's the last time?
Think about it for a second.
But you know what?
We've been watching Liam, Hope, Steffi for 8 years. This is 8 years of Liam, Hope, Steffi. I mean, they threw a little Wyatt in there.
Wait a minute.
And that little boy, oh, my God.
Anthony, wait. It really hasn't been 8. Because you got to count when Hope left, okay? and it was Ivy. Put Ivy in there because I think the problem is that everybody has done everybody. You had okay, let me go through this. Okay. You really had Hope Oliver, Steffi Oliver, right? That's what Oliver was the first.
Right.
Oliver was the first.
Right.
Then you had Hope, Liam, Thomas. Hope, Liam, Steffi, Liam, help me out. Hope, but then it was Steffi, Ivy,
Wyatt,
Hope.
Liam. Oh, right.
Wyatt.
Yep.
Yeah. Wyatt, Hope, Hope. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, because Hope and Wyatt got married because Steffi interfered with that. Yeah. Okay. Then you had you know what? I'm tired. Because the thing is,
and you should be because it's
because
been three central characters that just keep bed hopping with a secondary person once in a while, but really within the three beds. And as beautiful as it, as beautiful as it was to watch with Brooke, Ridge, Taylor, Daddy Ellis,
Caroline,
once in a while Thorne, Caroline. As much as it was beautiful to watch back then, we're now going on almost 30 years of the same story.
And as much as I love all the characters on there, it's time to bring in some new blood and shake it up. Give Steffi a new man.
They did. But Kim, see, this is the problem that I had with Bold and Beautiful. Well, here's the thing. I want to go back. I'm going to go back into time. Okay, let's go back mid 2000s. They had new blood. The problem is that at the end of the day, okay, and this is how I look at Bold and Beautiful. Out of the four soaps, Bold and Beautiful is the most real soap because it's set in real time in a real place. To me, I feel as though, especially if it's dealing with fashion, you need like a whole bowl of soup. Meaning you need a lot of people swimming around because Bold and Beautiful only has, 6 people in there? So Los Angeles only has 6 people, y'all. I didn't know that. Yeah. When they introduced new families, and, the beginning families was, the Spencers and Forsters, then they added the Spectors, then it was, Hector, Gabriella, I can't think of the other girl's name. But Thomas was with her. You know who I'm talking about. And then they introduced other people. The thing is that Bold and Beautiful really needs is a reset. If Dave can do it, General Hospital, even Young and Russell can do it, Bold needs a major reset. They even need to bring in new characters, or bring back the favorites that we've been asking for. Where's Deacon? Where is Amber? Okay, I would have took it that Amber and Rick met up in Paris and Amber seduced Rick. And that's how Maya and Rick's divorce happened. How hard was that for me to come up with?
That would be nice.
Okay? Where is, what if there's some drama? Let's get some drama. The fact that really Ridge is not a technical Forrester, that he's a Maroney.
Yeah.
Let's bring in Nick Maroney. Let's have a court battle, something regarding the money issue. To me, Bold needs new ideas, and I'm sorry, Red. I know you're trying. You've done it. You've actually proved that you can carry on your own legacy without being under your parents' legacy, and I applaud you for that. Because sometimes that's hard to do, to get out of the shadows of a famous spouse, parent, daughter, whatever. But I'm saying this out of love and respect as a viewer who's been watching since she was 5 years old.
That's what I was just going to say. We're not bashing them to bash them.
No, we're not. We're just saying, I don't want to see a soap canceled. I want to be real about this. I don't want to see it, even though, they're the second highest show, in the U.S. I'm thinking about the U.S. I'm not thinking about global, worldwide. Here's the thing, and I always tell the people, just because you're number 1, just because you're number 2, number 3 or 4, the way things are right now, you never know what's going to happen. Bold and Beautiful needs to get their act together. I love that show. I love the scenery. I love the beautiful people. They have a talented cast, but we need some new storylines. We need new blood. We need something because I'm falling asleep.
Right.
So.
Exactly.
That felt so good to get out. Woo! Thank you.
Yep.
Well, let's stay in the CBS family and hop over to Genoa City, where I really feel they are delivering on the promises that were not maybe spoken, but were definitely implied when the new regime took hold. I feel
I'd like to start off with something with everyone.
Go ahead, David.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm a little disappointed with the Adam story. And I might be in the minority.
No, you're not.
And I'll tell you what. Why. One reason is, well, I'm still a little stuck on Justin. And one scene comes to mind between Justin and Joshua, and that was that prison scene where back then, he had Nick promise to take care of Connor and all that. And I like that one thing, and now it's not there.
No, not at all.
I'm speaking, and I'm speaking like just like Eric Braden did as Victor the other day, because he wanted his family to come together and thought it would be a happy occasion that their brother is alive, and that's disheartening to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, when all he wants is revenge, and all he wants is his kids, which I understand that. But if you're going to go back in history, like you said, where he said, please take care of Connor and that, then he should have came back and been, nicer to Nick instead of, trying to take him out to get his son back. I mean, I can understand fighting with Victoria because, that's just who they are with the Newman Enterprises, the kind of thing. But to go at Nick like that, instead of being grateful that he's taking care of his son for this amount of time while he was gone, there's none of that. There's no love.
Okay. See, now I got to speak.
Go ahead,
I got to speak to that because they're really never, that scene that David talked about was a beautiful scene, but it was an aberration. There really was never a brotherly bond and a brotherly love there. And I think that they did, to a certain extent, look back at history and say, okay, what Adam do we want to bring back here? And having said that, I want to piggyback it also with the decline of Phyllis, because what they're doing, it might be unfortunate in our moment of history right now, while we're sitting here watching it. It might make us frustrated and sad and or angry, but they're setting up the room for so much story to tell going forward. Adam was never a touchy-feely character. Adam is a hedgehog. There's an underbelly that you can like when he gets around people that bring that out of him, but they've got to literally go and get poked through all the quills to get to that underbelly. Adam was never touchy-feely, and they're setting up that character to be the foil because there's no true bad guy on the canvas right now. There's nobody really bringing
let me just add
dirt.
To that. I'm not disappointed. I'm just kind of surprised at the way things are going. Go ahead.
But if you mirror that, I'm really not surprised because they needed to take a strong standpoint as to how they're going to change the direction of the. I mean, they wasted a year and a half on a storyline that gave them virtually nothing. It did well at the Emmys. God bless. But in the fan world, it has much more negativity than positivity associated with it. So, they killed the gentle, kind Phyllis, setting up for, when Michelle takes Phyllis back, she's going to be taking Phyllis back with a vengeance. They set up Adam to come back in this vengeful way. They're bringing back Chloe and Kevin. We can only imagine, based upon what they're throwing out at us, that this is, an all-encompassing storyline, that's going to bring Michael and Lauren back to the forefront, so on and so forth. We're done with Victor and Jack for a while. Thank you, Jesus. We're done with them, There's not much more they can do with that. I mean, the man hired, a psychopath to play Jack, doppelganger. There's not much more story they can tell between those two men. So thankfully they are moving in a better direction. They're bringing back some key characters we needed, including softies like Paul, which is wonderful. But they need to have They need to have that foil element to keep it interesting. And what better character than Adam? And Phyllis, when she comes back, because she's coming back with a vengeance. You can see it. You can feel it if you've been watching The Young and the Restless long term. Candy Girl?
Okay,
am I right?
I got to get on this soapbox. Here's the thing. As a person who actually enjoys when a character, I feel with Adam. I want to start with Adam. For me personally, I didn't want them to bring him back because, in all honesty, I knew that they were going to either have him have a memory loss or something to put him back into the forefront of, The Young and the Restless. I get it. You need a bad guy. But here's the thing. I have been watching it since Chris Eager had played, and then Michael Muhney, and then Justin Hartley, and now Mark. My thing is that if you're going to bring a character back, bring it back all full circle, meaning show us that this character has actually grown, but still is a little sneaky, still a little devious. The thing is about with the scene that you were talking about with Nick and Adam, the thing is that they didn't want Victor to get that child. That was the thing. They didn't want Victor to touch that child because they knew that when Victor touches something, it is either going to turn into gold or it's going to turn into crap. So that's where that comes from. However, when I saw the return of Adam, I'm like, where is this obsession coming from of getting Christian? Because I'm like, no, you changed the paternity to make it so that Nick was the father. Like, I know my history about Young and the Restless. I also know what Nick did, too, to Victor and whatnot. I like the way they're playing it, but at the same time, when I'm looking at Adam, I'm just like, okay, so we went back into 2008 right now. We went back into 2009. We skipped a whole chapter of Adam Newman that needs to be addressed. And that's, I think, speaking for me personally, I'm just like, okay, I get that you're leaning on Sharon. I get it. I understand that. I have some things about that, too. But to me, as a writer, and I know that was Josh Griffin's baby with Adam Newman. I know that. But at the same time, do not erase a majority of his growth, of character growth. Because I think as soap viewers, we're like, wait a minute, hold up, but we kind of moved on. Then I mean, you can go back to it. You can go forward, but don't forget some key elements here because there was, and I get what you're saying, Anthony. I get it. You need a baddie, but just like Chloe, Chloe, we knew Chloe was a little sneaky, little something. Okay, we had that, and we seen the growth of Chloe, her descending to craziness, But you cannot, in my opinion, when you establish a character's growth like you did when Justin was playing Adam, and he had a soft side. That was his hope side. I always say that. That was his hope side.
Yes.
You need to keep that when you go ahead and you bring the character back. Because to me, all this revenge.
Think about that.
There's a bigger reason.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to take a page from Days of Our Lives for just 1 second. You have a character that had 30 years of sobriety who just fell off the wagon in a grand old fashion. Nobody would have thought that anything could rock Maggie. So we don't know what psychological elements he's had to deal with since he's been gone. I mean, he was set on fire in a cabin. He's been separated basically from his legacy and family and so on and so forth. So, the reason could be 1,000-fold in the history that we don't know about while he's been off the canvas, and that's why he snapped back to the Adam who came to Genoa City full force sneaky bastard. And who he's leaning on versus who's he claiming to want revenge on, and who does he really want revenge on, could also be playing into the storyline going forward. So that it doesn't quite feel right and make sense today, but for the bigger story, it's all gonna be moving parts of a puzzle that look a lot better in a month or two.
And I hope you're right. I hope you're right, because I'm just gonna speak for myself. I feel as though I'm about to be set up for something, and it's not going to be good. I feel as though it's a set, and and y'all know this is painful for me to say this, because y'all know I like Young and the Restless. I just looking at this, I'm like, okay, put the past behind you, Candice. Do not remember certain things. And it's just like every time that I watch Adam, and when he brings up certain things from like a couple of years ago, I'm like, you know what? Wait, hold up, time out. No, they kind of got past that point. No, Adam, you didn't do this. No, wait, you and Victoria actually, like, you had some moments. So unless it's like a big, like, somebody's trying to kill me, or somebody threatened, somebody, or I don't know. I hope, Josh, he has really thought about the end game of that story arc, because if not, then you're really going to have a lot of fans, because some fans are questioning what's going on. It's like, okay, wait a minute, why we're going this route, why we're doing this. And I feel as though,
that's why I want to be the voice of reason tonight and tell the fans, hold out. Give Josh a little more time. Give the storyline, give everything that's going on a little more time, because I do believe, I have a personal theory, I do believe that it's all going to come back on Victor. I do believe that this gentler, kinder Victor is about to come into a big shock from all his children. But that's my personal feeling, knowing how Josh writes.
I think it's going to be endgame that Adam is going to be the one to say is Victor. Like his blood or something. That's what I'm thinking, because it's too much. Like, right now, by the way, kudos to Eric Braeden, because
Yes.
Just if y'all saw the scene, and when he said he's vowing to fight. Spoiler, he's vowing to fight, and I'm like, you fight, Victor. You don't give up. But
watching today's scene where he was so vulnerable, it was just, I mean, it breaks your heart, because you know how strong he's been since he's been on the show. And when he put his fists up like that, it blew me away. It blew me away.
But that's what the fans were asking for, and they're delivering piece by piece. They're giving us all the stuff we've been saying the last year. Where is the Victor? Where is this? Where is that? How are we going to redeem Victor and Nikki? Piece by piece.
You know what, Anthony? I'm going to tell you something, though. There's a double standard. I have to be the other voice of reason here. I think Young and the Restless fans are actually still concerned, okay? Because, a year ago, there were so many goings, of fan favorites, that it was just like, it was heart-wrenching. It was like, oh, my God, this person is leaving the show. This person is leaving the show. And then you have Eric Braeden, okay? And the thing is that right now, while we're watching this, some fans are questioning, is he leaving the show? And we don't know, by the way.
Well, I can't say that thought didn't cross my mind.
Right. It's like kind of, because you've seen him, like when he had the scene when he fell down the steps and he had the stroke and everything like that. And then he left the show. Remember, he was gone for a period of time. We know why. He was on vacation under a contract. But it kind of it does cross your mind. It's like, okay, look, Eric Braeden is in a certain age now. And, the way this soap works, the soaps, sometimes will have prepare a song song for that actor to leave. And it's kind of like, okay, wait a minute, we just dealt with a health crisis for Victor a year ago. Now we're doing this. And like I said, if they're going to try to go ahead and do the redemption of the Victor and Adam story, to have Adam save Victor, okay. But at the same time, like today, that scene broke me. Like, I cried because I realized that there is going to come a time where I'm not going to see Eric Braeden on television anymore. And that's the thing, you know, and with the soap world as it is, like I said, you don't know who's coming, who's going, and who's getting ready to retire. And it just, in that moment, I also realized with Victor is that he wants his children, the legacy from day one. He's wanted his children to carry on the legacy of a strong person. And for for Adam and Nick and Victoria and Abby, by the way, I was glad to see Abby being there because she always is the last one to know everything. I was just like, you know what? This is the legacy he wants. He wants the children. He wants to see all of them come together, even for a split second. But at the same time, as far as the whole Adam thing goes, I'm just like, okay, like you need to, if you can show growth with Abby, Victoria, and Nick, then I need to see Adam like continue what he had a couple of years ago and merge with his badness. Like I said, he's both Hope and Victor's child. He could play. Right now, he's being like Victor. Okay, but don't forget how he was. Don't forget the relationships he had formed. That's all I have to say about it as a fan. You know,
and you know what? It's about time. It's about time that Victoria walks out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
if anything, she should be the one.
How long has Victoria ever really lasted at Newman? And how long has she ever really had a stable coexistence with Victor, with Nick, and with Adam? You know, there's periods of time where it's beautiful and it's you know, it feels like it's longevity, but the history shows when the going gets tough, either Victoria gets kicked or Victoria gets walking. And, you know, it looks about like that time when she's going to take a walk.
I like what Abby told her, you know. Get out while you can and do something, you know, for yourself. And, you know, look how Abby has grown and got her own restaurant and things going. Yeah. I love this. And I think this is and I think, you know, and then Nick walked away and he's got his own company and you know, if Victor is so adamant about having Adam run the company, and Victoria is surely not going to work for Adam unless, of course, she bows down, and she does it. But, you know, now's her time to take her stand and say, you know what, that's it, I'm done, and really be done this time.
Yeah, and really be done this time, exactly.
She's scared. She's scared to do it. Because I was thinking about that, too, just now. Like, there was a scene this week where Nick and Victor, and that was some good, where Nick was talking about Dark Horse, and Victor was like, oh, you mean the money that you stole from me to start your own company? Like, you know, like, yeah, history lesson, folks. Nick used Victor's money to open his. And then on top of that, you know, I was thinking about when Victor gave the $500,000 to each of his kids. Abby is the only one who still has her money. Like, she didn't spend it. She didn't blow it like Nick. The thing is that with Victoria, she knows she can do a business by her. She knows that. But she's worried that she's going to make her daddy not happy. And there was a line a couple of months ago from Billy when he said, who are you aiming to please, yourself or your father? Because nobody's going to make you happy but yourself. That's Victoria's problem. She wants
that's been her problem all her life.
Right. She wants that. I mean, she already has the title of Victor Jr., but she can't go through with it. She can't be ruthless. And I think that's the problem. Like, I would love to see Victoria. I always thought Victoria and Abby should have went into business together, but at the same time, I was like, no, because I can see Victoria screwing that up. I mean, you know, I think she's scared because of the whole Brass and Sassy situation. You know, how it kind of went under.
Another thing, too, I mean, this would have been a perfect time for her to be ruthless and show her father that she could be that person. Instead of giving Adam the money and the phone number, she should have tore his butt apart.
And then you have Nick. I mean, last year, Mal Young's Nick was the Nick that I was waiting for a long time, stuff for the Scooby-Doo mask. But I love the fact that Nick was pushed to the limits. And I love that line, too, when he's like, you did everything to push me, and I finally went off the deep end, and this is what I am. And I was like, Nick finally tapped into his dark side. Now he's discombobulated. He's trying to be the man, but at the same time, he's Nick. Victoria has to go there. Victoria needs to get that push. I don't know what else can push her to get to that ruthless. I mean, I always joke and say Nick has Nikki's heart, meaning Nick can't go ruthless. I was proven wrong last year when I when I saw Nick do that. But now Victoria she's soft. She's soft. There, I said it.
Yeah.
I need soap therapy.
I think she's softer than
Nick.
No, not Nick.
Abby. Abby's her mother's child.
Abby's grown.
Yeah. Abby is definitely her
Abby has grown.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Abby is a true Abbott when it comes down to, I mean, she may have that Newman name, but that is all Abbott in her.
Yeah.
The way she carries herself,
totally agree.
and the way she runs a business. Because think about it, Abby has had some successful things.
She's like Jack.
Pretty much. But she wouldn't be stupid to sell the company down. Yeah, she wouldn't be. She would be smart. She's a smart cookie. She had the naked heiress. She got money and she did that was on her own. Then she did, a little bit here, a little bit there. She's smart. That's John. Go ahead, Abby. Do your thing, girl.
Yep, totally agree.
Round of applause for
well, we could talk about The Young and Restless forever, but it's we got 30 minutes left. So let's hit GH and then you guys talk days.
Well, General Hospital. I have to say I absolutely loved yesterday's episode. Given us, we haven't seen that kind of soap in a couple of years, where the plot unfolds after the plot's already unfolded. I was really, really pleasantly surprised on that, in the best way possible. Unfortunately, Candice, I have to eat a little crow here and give you back the props for the Oscar storyline. What started out to be, to me, a beautiful, well written, well done, is now okay. We're carrying the torch for a character we've known for a year.
Right.
They should have just left Drew and Kim. God forgive me, because I like both of those actors very, very, very much, but they should have just left them off screen. Boring, not interested, don't feel it. You were absolutely right. I was invested in Oscar, Josh, and Cameron. I wasn't invested as much as I
Anthony,
thought I was.
I'm gonna have to hang up on you in about 1 second. If you talk about leaving Billy Miller off the canvas, we're not friends anymore. I don't care if he's sitting in the corner reading a dictionary.
Okay, Pam, I'm actually. You might as well just get ready to put me off. Here's the thing. Not real quick. I gotta say this. I love Billy Miller, right? I do.
Me too.
And I thought, the thing is, they don't call him Killer Miller for anything. And to me, I feel as though General Hospital has done. I don't know what happened, because you cannot tell me that a 3-time Emmy Award winner, who dominates in emotional scenes, as we all saw, who has chemistry with a lot of people, you can't come up with a story. He actually is supposed to be in another storyline.
I'm not saying that he shouldn't. I'm not saying that. I'm he should definitely have a storyline and one that's, got bite to it. But no,
what I'm saying
I will take him.
They don't know what to do with him right now.
No. Wait a minute. I'm just going to say, with as many phenomenal actors as they have on this canvas, to waste time in a hotel room saying the same things that they were saying 2 weeks ago and giving it as best that they could give it as far as with what they're given to play, they should have just let that play off screen and had him come back with, oh, my God, Kim's dying, or something Kim
fell off the
worthy
mountain. Kim fell off the mountain.
And it was just boring. It's boring. You know, they should have let us miss him a little bit so that when we see him, we're ready for him. It's just, you know,
how come he's not in the Shiloh storyline?
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm just asking, like, because I thought that he knew Shiloh. I thought Shiloh and him were friends.
Yeah.
So why is he
that has
a part
to be
of that
played out?
Yeah. Why doesn't he, like, to me, I feel as though, I mean, I think this is where Anthony and everybody's come from. I feel as though if you can't write for the man, you either do two things. One, just keep him off for a little bit until you figure out a story.
So you're ready.
Or the other thing, let him go. Because
no.
I mean, yeah, I know. No, trust me. I'm with you because I know as soon as I say that, I know what people are gonna be like. Well, he could come back. No, Jason, stay where you're at. The thing is that they don't know what to do with Drew. That's the problem. You have a great actor playing this character that has so many open storylines. It doesn't make any sense. When is he going to get his memories back? What is his relationship with Jason? Does he remember he has a daughter? He knows Shiloh. When is he going to get his memories back?
Does he know that his ex-wife just almost got raped? You know, there's so many beats to play. Yeah.
Well, I have faith that they're going to do. I mean, I think they were just getting through the conclusion of the Oscar storyline, and you know they'll put him into something. I have faith. I think they know.
Pam, but Pam, even with Oscar, okay, his memory should have been back. Like for him to have some kind of memory of Oscar, Kim, and him before Oscar died. So that way, when there could have been a scene where Drew has a flash or something, I don't know, flash drive, I don't know, and told, Kim, I remember when Oscar and me went fishing. And Kim is like, what? And he's like, yeah, I remember we went to the lake, and it was me and Oscar, and we were sitting and we were talking. And then Oscar is like, you remember that? And he was like, yeah. Like something like that, like emotional, like that could have been like emotional for Drew, for Oscar to wow, my dad actually had a memory of me before I died. And Kim is like, oh, and Drew is like, yeah. And then it makes Drew kind of want to go ahead and just go ahead full-fledged and get his memory back. Like, you could have had that.
No, Candice, sweetie, he never knew Oscar. He didn't know she was pregnant when he left.
Look, wait a minute. Hold up. This is General Hospital. They rewrite all the time. I mean, Anna was Peter's mama. Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, remember that Franco is Scotty's son? Right. Just saying.
Well, the other thing I want to mention is I was actually surprised, and maybe it's just me, but I was surprised that they did the switcheroo thing with Ryan and Kevin with the kidney thing, where he
I thought that was great.
Where he agreed to do it. I thought that what's her name finally, got to him with all her talking. He's like, yeah, I'll do it just to shut her up, whatever. Like, I really believe that. So now today when I'm watching it and they're talking and Jordan is how's Jordan figuring all this out? I mean, come on. That part was like, what? No.
I don't think so.
That's the only part.
I don't think so at all, actually. She's been pretty consistently. She may not get the results we need from a police commissioner, but she pretty much gets on target with what's going on. So I'm not that surprised.
Yeah, I know, but she just came out of surgery, and all of a sudden she's got it all figured out.
It has to be the
brain
kidney.
surgery. Brain
I
surgery.
guess.
But let me ask this question.
Online,
here...
they're saying online. Well, I heard this last night. that people are saying that maybe the kidney is giving Jordan brains.
Oh my God.
Well, let me ask the question. Do y'all think they should have kept it a secret from Jordan as to whose kidney she received?
I wouldn't
like
have
6
figured
months
it
later?
out. I didn't figure that out.
Well,
No,
yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, I don't know. Because some people keep it a secret and some don't. So, it works both ways.
It could have been like, all right, okay, here's me being the writer again, where Jordan, like everything, like 6 months later, okay, 6 months later, right? Jordan, like, wants to know about the kidney donor, okay? Let's say nobody knew, nobody's told her anything, just said, like, somebody, who was on the kidney donor, you was on the waiting list, by God, you got one. But she wants to know who kidney it is, just to, because she's nosy. So she starts going through the records and everything, like kind of like for Jordan, a mystery to be solved. And at the same time, like, Elizabeth finds out that Jordan's been asking questions, so she talks to Franco and says, Jordan wants to know about the kidney donor. Like, and then we can get clips, like the flashback.
Isn't it kind of unavoidable, though, because of the situation?
Yeah.
I mean, she knew they had to save Ryan because he was the only one that was compatible with her. So, to me, that wouldn't have worked.
If Curtis would have knocked him over the head and dragged him out of Ava's cabin before Chase got there, that would have been a great storyline to tell. But from the moment Chase showed up, the storyline was written. There was no other way to write it without completely just blowing all of us away, and not in a good way. So, I'm glad that they didn't linger this out, actually, and that they gave us the episode we had yesterday, because there's so much stuff hanging in the balance. We didn't need Jordan's kidney, which in a month from now nobody's going to care about. We didn't need that hanging as another yet unfinished. We still don't know what the big deal with the twins are. And guess what? I have a feeling we never gonna know. We never gonna know.
Yeah. And how do you think this Shiloh storyline is going to end up? Is it going to be a murder mystery? Is he going to get put in jail?
To me,
okay. Wait, real quick.
To me, it's like neck and neck
Loving
between
is the
Shiloh
only
getting
soap that
shot.
did the serial killer right. I want to see everybody in town in a trench coat going after Shiloh, and he ended up dead. You know who I'm talking about, right? Everybody remember?
Well, you know who I think is finally going to off him?
Harmony.
His most dedicated follower, Willow's mother. Did
Harmony.
you see her face
in
jail today?
Yeah, I did. She's a little pissed
like,
off.
Yeah. Yeah. Here she is taking the fall for him, and all he cares about is he don't care about her being in jail. He just wants to go off and find his kid, and that's it, And I think that's finally getting into her head. I mean, because just yesterday, she's crying, what can I do for you? Don't leave me, Mama. You know what I mean? And then today she's like, excuse me, you want money? You want me to do jail time? You want the kid, but you don't want me to be involved with my grandkid? No. She signed for the money. She's trying to trust him still, but you can see her brain is working.
Yeah.
Her brain is working.
Okay, so somebody catch me up real quick. Did we get an announcement that Elizabeth Hendrickson is done?
Yeah.
She's on tomorrow.
Yeah.
I thought she was doing both.
Okay, so I'm gonna help everybody out. Okay, so back around the Emmys, we all know Elizabeth was at the CBS party. That's rumors. Okay. Then she said she was going to try to do both. She was going to pull like a Wally Kurth and try to do both. I guess General Hospital was like, you know what, we don't got any more story for you, bye-bye. Next thing you know, it was announced she was coming back. They didn't give an air date for her on Young and the Restless. And then she posted pictures of her last day at General Hospital. The end.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
They're going to miss you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, it was cute that she got to play a little bit in Port Charles, but that was another character that wasn't
that felt flat.
Yeah.
Even when her, like, what the sad part was is that when she was on there and they had the scenes with her and Billy Miller, and like I said, Young and the Restless fans, we always watching. And even all my children fans, the chemistry between her and Billy fell flat to me. And I was like, oh, what are they going to do with this character now? Because I thought they were going to have her and Sonny sleep together. I was like,
me too.
Sonny and her are going to sleep together. And so I don't know. It's not. I'm going to say this. It's not the actor's fault. It's the show. Because Elizabeth could have easily been a Sarah Weber, a Serena Baldwin.
Yeah.
If you're going to put her on as a new character, give us something to, really sink our teeth in and not just have her be another hypocritical character who thinks they can tear down Sonny, Jason, and all of them. That's it. I'm going to miss you, Elizabeth, but I'm going to see you in space.
Changing directions a little bit.
Last thing about GH before we move on to Days, because we got 15 minutes left.
Okay.
Last thing about GH, Carly got her results today. Think she's going to have a healthy baby or is going to have a problem?
I think it's going to have a problem.
It would be interesting if they showed her having a Down syndrome baby.
Right. That's what I thought, too.
I said that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
One more thing about GH. I am loving Maxie and Peter, but please don't give us leave Dante out of it and don't give us a Maxie, Peter, Lulu triangle.
Come on home, Dante.
Oh.
Come on home, and I have a perfect person to play him. Come on home, Dante. Come on home. Would you sign this in this all-rightness? Yes. Come on home, Dante. I miss you. I miss you, Lulu and Dante. You're the only reason Lulu can stay function. Sorry, I had to say
it. We got Candice and casting.
Yes, I do.
All right.
I actually thought about 3 people who could play a recast of Dante. Would you like to hear it real quick?
Go ahead.
Mark Lawson. Yes. Hack to the. Yes, that's it. That's all I got. Mark Lawson. And Jeff Branson. Branson.
Jeff would be.
I heard Jeff Branson and who else did you say?
And Mark Lawson.
Mark Lawson.
From One Life to Live.
Mhm.
Brody.
Did you not think of?
Brody.
You not think of? I know. I just didn't hear the name. Did you not think of your one friend?
Oh,
Brendan.
What? Yeah. Him.
Pelfrey?
What? I didn't hear you.
Who? Pelfrey?
Tom Pelfrey?
No, I know who you're talking about, but I'm going to just say that I think I have to think about the character and of development, because we kind of saw it with the last time when Dominic was there with Dante. You saw him kind of go into this place of ashamed and also trying to be brave, because he had, that post-traumatic stress disorder, which I wish General Hospital would have really pushed for the story, but maybe when he comes back, they can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I need for him to be dark. So the thing is that he's not going to be like more of his mama, but he's going to be a little bit more of his dad in the terms of darkness. When I thought about Mark, I was thinking about Brody. On One Life to Live, Brody was dealing with some stuff, and I was like, that would be perfect if Mark Tushin, if you're listening, Mark, okay, he could play that role. Jeff Branson is another person. Anybody who watched Sky and Light knows when Shane Lewis came back, he was kind of in that situation as well. I would say, like John Driscoll or Tom Pelfrey, but John Driscoll's doing military. Tom Pelfrey would.
But you don't think Chad Brennan could bring it?
I don't think Chad could bring it, and here's the thing. I love you, Chad. You know that, but they never really, I mean, unless they really go ahead and cast him in another role or General Hospital, I don't know if I can trust the writers to actually bring him to his dark edge. They did it before when Xander was kind of like the final few months when Xander was on, but they also had him still have the heart of gold on his sleeve. So I need for Dante to like really like be paranoid in a way. Like sort of like what we like the way that Adam is on Young and the Restless, that's kind of what I'm not all the way, but some traits.
Yeah.
From Adam on Young and the Restless, a little bit of stuff on Days of Our Lives, with a little bit of Ben and a little bit of Thomas all rolled into one, and that's what I want Dante to be. Like he's paranoid, but he's trying to power through for the sake of his family. That's what I want General Hospital to do. So General Hospital, call me anytime. I'm here. Pick me.
All right, Scotty, beam us over to Salem.
All right, I'm going to mute you. Have fun.
Like sands through the hourglass. Okay. Oh, a whole lot's been happening on the Days of Our Lives. Candice,
you don't have much time.
We don't have our queen, so you're going to step in. You're going to be elevated from princess to queen for the evening. What is... Go ahead, girl. I know you're chomping. Go ahead.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead, Candice.
Say what? Oh, Xander.
Yeah,
I mean, here's the thing. Okay. I love Xander, and I love him and Sarah. There, I said it. I feel free now. Okay.
He's warm for her.
Yes, thank you. Warm, lusting after her. And I love the fact that Sarah, see, I love with Sarah, I mean, I know she gets a lot of heat and everything, but I like Sarah because she's a tell it like it is and feel like she feels type of character. She's not one of the ooey gooey like, oh, I love you so much. Oh, my gosh, I love you. And everything. No, she's kind of real. Like, if you piss her off, you piss her off. If she's like one night stand, well, fine. I got to love you. I don't care. I love the chemistry, and I love the fact that Xander and Maggie has this friendship.
Yes, thank you.
Like a relationship because, who would ever thought Maggie, who is like, I'm Maggie, but I'm a drunk now, and Xander, Mr. Bad Boy to the Bones, have mutual respect. Like, you would never, it kind of gives you the Roger Marine feel from Gone Light a little bit.
Yeah.
Somebody who, Xander's kind of like, he's just Xander. So you got that going. So, I mean, does anybody else like Xander and Sarah or Xander and Maggie?
No, I've been.
I'm not trying to.
Girl, you and I were on that bandwagon a couple of weeks ago, and I am whipping the horses. Come on, faster. Woo now. Yeah, no, definitely.
I think Sarah protests too much.
That scene. I loved that scene with Maggie and Xander. It gave us just enough to say, you know what? They can redeem this bad boy too. If they can take a necktie killer and put him with Sierra, there is no reason why Dirty Sarah can't have us some Dirty Xander. I'm sorry. I'm so ready to take that ride. I am so sick. I'm sick and tired of all three of them. I'm going to miss Trip, but I ain't going to miss them. Part of me was like, oh, God, just let them burn. God forgive me. But I am so sick of Haley, Trip, JJ. The only one that I'm still invested in is Cuckoo Crazy Claire. Girl,
I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss her.
We're going to miss her.
This is the one thing I'm never going to forgive Days for. They finally took her character to the level that I was waiting for. But now she's getting ready to leave. And it's kind of like, well, thanks, Days. Like, I could have had this a year ago. Like, really. Y'all, could have, gave me a little bit of Sammy Jr. a year ago. But I get it. Okay, I understand. But if she doesn't get a nod next year, I don't know what to say. Because I just, So,
Yeah.
So you got that.
Just been pulling it out of the
They're never going to be able to. They're never going to be able to redeem JJ and Haley. I am so sorry, but there is no chemistry there. And Casey Moss, is the one that they just keep misfiring with. Those scenes with him and Gabby when he's going to kill himself showed us exactly what he's made of and what he's got inside him.
Mm-hmm.
So, wasting time with Gabby and Stefan, when Gabby and JJ could be heating it up, really bothers me. I don't think that the history there is so bad that they couldn't redeem themselves, especially with what both of them have been through in the last year. They could have really milked something out of that. I don't know what they're gonna. I don't know how they're gonna make us invest in Haley anymore. Her and her sister should just jump into the river and take a nice little sail somewhere, because neither one of those characters brings anything. I'm
going to say this. I agree with you, because I think, and I'm going to tie it into this whole Jack storyline. I'm over it. I mean, I know that with this Jack storyline, look, and I've said this, the only good thing about this Jack storyline is Eve, Cassie the Piper. That's the only thing that's keeping me interested in it, because I think they've taken, look, I know my history of Jack. Jack was a scaled down version of what we're seeing now. But the thing is that they've taken this storyline to kind of not the extreme, because Lord knows I know they can do the extreme, but they've taken it to a point where, as a Jack and Jennifer fan, I'm waiting for somebody to call Frankie. Billy Warlock, where you at, baby? Come on today.
Yeah.
Where you at, Billy Warlock?
Yeah, because they've turned Jennifer into such a pathetic character at this point. Again, thank you. She's just so woefully pathetic. And I got to say real quick, kudos to, because I'm not a Julie fan at all. I think, retire, baby, retire. But I got to say kudos between the scenes between her and Matthew and, Julie and Jack. Because that did fire me up a little bit and say, okay, maybe every once in a while we do need a little dose of Julie. Julie Gabby, I was ready to push her down the stairs. But Julie Jack, okay. I'd like to see her interact with Maggie a little bit and see what they could do with that. But that's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Well,
we got
Caroline. It's time to wrap it up.
We got Caroline's funeral coming up, so maybe we'll see some of that.
And also, they dropped the Easter egg yesterday between Xander and Kristen with the rest of the daughters. We are getting the rest of those. Reveals. So, that's not a storyline that's just going to disappear. And I was glad that they gave us that Easter egg to remind us, because we're going to get Bob Dunja with Maggie, with Caroline, Caroline's funeral, and of course, Will and will he or won't he, again.
Yeah. Real quick before we leave, I have to give honorable mention to Days for the Lonnie breakthrough. That girl, when Lonnie realized that she, to me, okay, I know everybody's talking about Sin and the JJ Jack storyline, but this storyline was the storyline that I think I was mostly invested in, because Lonnie had to, let me explain this for those who don't know. Lonnie was living in La La Land. In other words, she was having a fantasy world of having a great guy, being a very supportive father, and, a baby, coincidentally named Baby David, So she was living that life. When they had her breakthrough and she realized that she was trying to replace and do all this, I was like, go. They played that scene to and through. And I cried along with it.
Get ready to say goodbye, guys. We're running out.
Thanks once again to Patricia Bethune. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. As always, positive thoughts, positive, wonderful vibes. We'll see you again next Thursday with another great guest. Yes!
Don't tell everybody.
Don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
I'm not going to
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay, tune in.
Good night, everybody.